What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's start it with our first news. In a fiery new interview on Submission Radio, Ali Abdelaziz, the longtime manager of Islam Makhachev and Justin Gaethje, didn't hold back as he broke down the current UFC lightweight landscape. From Ilia Topuria's next move to Paddy Pimblett's sudden rise, Abdelaziz made it clear that he's fed up with how things are being handled and that the UFC's matchmaking may be heading in the wrong direction. For weeks, speculation suggested that Justin Gaethje was next in line for a title shot against the undefeated featherweight champion Ilia Topuria, who's been teasing a move up to lightweight. But then the narrative shifted. Suddenly, there was talk of Paddy Pimblett being considered for a massive fight, and that, according to Abdelaziz, is where things went completely off the rails. "Let me be very clear," Ali said. "If Justin Gaethje gets jumped by Paddy Pimblett, he will retire. He's not bluffing. He will never fight again in the UFC if that happens." Abdelaziz emphasized that Gaethje has always been a man of his word and that giving Pimblett a title opportunity over a proven veteran like Gaethje would be, in his words, completely unfair. Ali also took direct aim at Paddy's record, criticizing the level of competition he's faced so far. Paddy Pimblett's last 3 opponents are a combined 0-3, he pointed out. "How can someone like that be ahead of Justin Gaethje in the rankings? It doesn't make sense. The only guy who deserves a title shot over Justin is Arman Tsarukyan, and if that happens, I'll stay quiet. But anyone else? That's not right." The manager then shifted focus to the rest of the lightweight picture, specifically the upcoming bout between Arman Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker. Abdelaziz didn't mince words about that matchup either. "I think Arman is going to beat the life out of Dan Hooker," he said. "It's nothing personal against Hooker, but Arman is simply operating on a different level right now." Abdelaziz also addressed Islam Makhachev's mindset amid all the chaos. "Islam doesn't care who he fights," Ali said. "He'll take on anybody. That's what makes him a champion. He's not out here picking and choosing opponents." In a surprising reveal, Ali even dropped news about Magomed Ankalaev's recent struggles leading up to his rematch with Alex Pereira at UFC 320. Magomed didn't spar for 40 days because of a rib injury, he shared. "Most people didn't believe it, but that's the truth." Overall, Abdelaziz's message was crystal clear. The UFC lightweight division needs clarity and fairness. In his view, Justin Gaethje has earned the next shot, and if the promotion goes another way, it could mark the end of one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out, and ensures you'll never miss an update. Moving on to another news. In his trademark bold fashion, Paddy Pimblett has once again grabbed the headlines, this time by issuing a direct challenge to the undefeated featherweight champion Ilia Topuria. During a fiery recent interview, the baddie went off on Topuria, vowing to smash his face in, and prove that he's not just all talk. Pimblett made it clear that he believes he can beat Ilia anywhere the fight goes, on the feet or on the ground, and that the hype surrounding El Matador has gotten out of control. "Everyone's been putting Ilia on a pedestal like he's untouchable," Paddy said. "I'm ready to bring the whole thing crashing down. He's a great fighter, no doubt, but people act like he's some kind of god. When we fight, I'll show everyone that he bleeds just like the rest of us." The outspoken Scouser's comments immediately set the MMA community on fire. Former featherweight champion Max Holloway even chimed in, reminding fans that underestimating fighters is always a mistake. "Don't sleep on Paddy," Holloway said. "Experience counts for a lot, but this sport eats expectations for breakfast. You never know what's going to happen when that cage door closes." While Pimblett and Topuria continue to trade barbs through the media, another controversy is brewing within the lightweight division. Former flyweight great Demetrius "Mighty Mouse" Johnson blasted the UFC for overlooking rising contender Arman Tsarukyan, calling the decision to skip him for a potential title shot reality TV level nonsense. Johnson argued that Tsarukyan has earned his place as the rightful #1 contender and that his fight resume speaks for itself. "Arman is the real deal," Johnson said. "He's beaten top guys, he's young, and he's dangerous. If the UFC is serious about competition, he's the one who deserves the shot, not whoever brings more attention on social media." Tsarukyan is set to face Dan Hooker later this month at UFC Qatar, a matchup that could determine the next title contender at lightweight. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria has been staying busy outside the Octagon, helping his brother Alexander prepare for his upcoming fight against Belzad El Makan, also scheduled scheduled for the same UFC Qatar event. Despite rumors that Topuria could return to action in January, insiders suggest that's unlikely, given both brothers' training schedules. The Topurias traditionally focus on one another's camps, rarely competing in close succession. Even Charles Oliveira, Topuria's most recent opponent, recently admitted that standing in boxing range with Ilia was a mistake. "He's sharp, powerful, and precise," Oliveira said. "If you give him space to set up, you're in trouble." As the tension builds, one thing is certain: a potential Pimblett versus Topuria clash would be one of the most electric matchups the UFC could make, mixing raw talent, undefeated pride, and pure animosity. Moving on to another news, former UFC and Bellator star Josh Thompson has provided one of the clearest explanations yet of the upcoming rule changes surrounding eye pokes in mixed martial arts. Following the controversy at UFC 321, where an accidental poke played a major role in the outcome of a high-profile heavyweight title fight, the athletic commissions have decided to take strong and immediate action. Thompson detailed exactly what fighters and fans can expect moving forward, and why these changes could finally solve one of MMA's most frustrating recurring problems. According to Thompson, the new rules are designed to prioritize fairness and fighter safety while still allowing athletes time to adapt. Under the revised system, referees will now issue an official warning the moment they see a fighter's hand extended with open fingers. This means a fighter doesn't even have to make contact, simply keeping the hand open toward the opponent will trigger a verbal warning from the referee. Once that initial warning is given, any eye poke that occurs afterward will result in an automatic point deduction, with no exceptions. A second infraction will lead to another point being taken away. "It's simple and it's fair," Thompson explained. "If your hand's open and you poke your opponent in the eye after being warned, you lose a point. There's no more gray area. It takes the decision out of the referee's hands and puts responsibility where it belongs, on the fighter." Thompson emphasized that the UFC and athletic commissions are aware that this rule could temporarily disrupt some fighters' striking rhythms. Keeping hands closed at all times might affect parrying and range control, but officials believe the fighters will quickly adapt. "It's going to feel strict at first," Thompson said, "but once everyone gets used to it, things will settle. The goal isn't to punish, it's to prevent." Interestingly, Thompson noted that 95 to 98% of all eye pokes in the UFC come from just 1 or 2% of fighters, meaning the issue is largely concentrated among a small group of athletes with particular habits or fighting styles. Despite speculation from fans, a glove redesign is reportedly not under consideration at this time. Instead, the rule change itself is viewed as the most effective immediate fix. As Thompson put it, "For years, we've seen refs hesitate, debating whether an eye poke was intentional or not. But at the end of the day, a foul is a foul. Intent doesn't matter, results do." Ultimately, the former fighter applauded the commissions for finally addressing what many believe is a long overdue problem. "Less warnings and more consistency, that's huge," he said. "What good are the rules if we don't enforce them?" With the new system set to take effect soon, MMA fans are watching closely to see whether it will bring the clarity and accountability that the sport has needed for years. Moving on to another news. According to his longtime manager, Ali Abdelaziz, former interim UFC lightweight champion Justin Gaethje isn't bluffing when he says he'll retire if he doesn't receive the next title opportunity. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, Abdelaziz made it clear that Gaethje's comments about walking away from the sport should be taken at face value, not as a negotiating tactic. "Justin Gaethje never breaks his word," Abdelaziz said firmly. "If he gets skipped over for the next lightweight title shot, especially in favor of Paddy Pimblett, he will retire. He will never fight again in the UFC. That's how serious he is about it." Abdelaziz acknowledged that the UFC operates as a business and that entertainment value often influences matchmaking decisions. However, he argued that when it comes to merit and accomplishments, there's simply no comparison between Gaethje and Pimblett. "I've got nothing against Paddy," he explained. "He's a great personality and entertaining to watch, but his last 3 opponents are a combined 0 to 13 in the rankings." Justin Gaethje, on the other hand, has been facing top contenders for years and delivering fight-of-the-night performances every time. The manager went on to praise Gaethje's loyalty to the UFC and his willingness to take high-risk fights even when he had little to gain from them. "Justin has done the UFC countless favors," Abdelaziz said. "He steps up when others pull out, he never complains about matchups, and he always brings excitement. So the question is, what exactly has Paddy Pimblett done to deserve a title shot over him? If it's about entertainment, entertainment, fine, give it to Paddy. But if it's about merit, it has to be Justin. Abdelaziz also mentioned that there's only one name he'd accept jumping ahead of Gaethje in the title race, rising contender Arman Tsarukyan. If Arman gets the title shot, I won't say a word, he admitted. He's earned his place with the level of competition he's faced and the performances he's delivered. But anyone else getting that opportunity over Justin would be completely unfair. The lightweight division is currently one of the most competitive in the sport, with Islam Makhachev reigning as champion and potential challengers like Ilia Topuria, Tsarukyan, and Pimblett vying for position. Still, Abdelaziz remains confident that Gaethje's track record speaks for itself. Justin has paid his dues and fought the toughest guys in the world, Abdelaziz concluded. If the UFC wants to keep one of its biggest stars active, they need to do the right thing and give him the title shot he's earned. Otherwise, the sport might lose one of its most exciting fighters for good. Moving on to another news. Major news has surfaced regarding the return of undefeated UFC star Khamzat Chimaev, and fans are already buzzing with anticipation. According to new reports, the Chechen-born fighter is targeting his long-awaited comeback early next year, with plans for a major bout following the conclusion of Ramadan. Chimaev recently made a public appearance at an ACA Absolute Championship Akhmat event, where he was seen supporting two of his close teammates, Guram Kutataladze and Abdul Rahman Dudaev. Kutataladze made a spectacular post-UFC debut, securing an impressive TKO victory, while Dudaev's fight ended in a controversial split decision win. Cameras caught Chimaev visibly frustrated when the scorecards were read, clearly unhappy with the outcome. After the event, reporters from Ushatika attempted to interview Chimaev, but he declined, continuing his well-known stance against the media outlet following past disputes. However, his longtime friend and training partner Alanbek Badvi spoke briefly to the press and revealed several key details about Chimaev's next move. Alanbek confirmed that Chimaev had originally planned to fight before Ramadan, which begins in February and ends in March, in order to stay active following his hard-fought August matchup against Dricus du Plessis. However, those plans were pushed back due to what Alanbek described as unavoidable circumstances, possibly relating to lingering injuries and scheduling issues. According to Badvi, Chimaev's team is now eyeing a fight date in late April or early May 2025, which would give him time to complete Ramadan and return to full training afterward. He wanted to fight before Ramadan to stay sharp, Alanbek explained, but the timing just didn't work out. Now the focus is on getting back in the cage as soon as possible after the holy month. The revelation aligns with recent reports from several European MMA outlets suggesting that the UFC is considering a major card in the Middle East in the spring of 2025, potentially featuring Chimaev in a headline or co-main event slot. While his opponent hasn't been confirmed, speculation continues to swirl around names like Sean Strickland, Robert Whittaker, and even Paulo Costa, depending on how the middleweight title picture unfolds. Despite his relative silence in recent months, Chimaev's presence at the ACA event, and his visible passion while supporting his teammates, shows that Borz remains fully engaged in the fight game. Fans have been eager to see him return ever since his dominant rise through the welterweight and middleweight ranks, and it now appears that wait is nearly over. If Alanbek's comments hold true, the next chapter in Khamzat Chimaev's career could begin just a few months into 2025, and as always, the MMA world will be watching closely. Moving on to another news. UFC featherweight champion Ilia Topuria has once again caught the attention of fans, but this time it's not because of his dominance inside the Octagon. The Georgian-Spanish star recently shared a heartfelt and somewhat cryptic message on social media that many believe is directed toward his wife, amid swirling rumors about trouble in their marriage. Just a few weeks ago, eagle-eyed fans noticed that both Ilia and his wife had quietly removed nearly all photos of each other from their Instagram accounts. The sudden social media purge immediately sparked speculation that the couple might be going through a rough patch or possibly separating. Neither side addressed the rumors directly, leaving fans to wonder what was happening behind the scenes. Now, Ilia has posted a series of new photos and short clips to his Instagram stories, reigniting conversation around his personal life. While the images themselves seem to focus on his training, travel, and moments of reflection, it was a written note he shared that drew the most attention. The message read, "My problem was I wanted to take people with me to the top who didn't even want to see me at the top." The post immediately went viral among MMA fans and media outlets, with many interpreting it as a subtle statement about loyalty and personal betrayal. Some believe Ilia Ilia was expressing frustration about people close to him, possibly including his wife, not supporting his journey or sharing his vision at the peak of his success. Others argued that the quote could be about friends, business associates, or even people in his training circle. Regardless of its intended meaning, the timing of the message is what fueled further speculation. The post came just weeks after the couple's social media activity hinted at tension. Ilia, who has often kept his private life out of the spotlight, has never been one to address personal drama publicly, but this message was enough to get fans talking. Supporters flooded the comments sections across MMA forums, with many expressing empathy for the champion. "Fame changes everything, even the people around you," one fan wrote. Others urged him to stay focused on his career, noting that emotional distractions could impact his upcoming fight plans. As of now, neither Ilia nor his wife has confirmed whether the rumors of a split are true. Still, the message paints a picture of a man reflecting deeply on trust, loyalty, and the personal sacrifices that come with success. Whether the quote was aimed at his wife or not, one thing is certain: Ilia Topuria's post has reminded fans that even champions face battles outside the cage.